Dear Invisible Rebels, welcome to the realm of spiritual life coaching based on unconditional love and unity, infinite possibility, absolute freedom, and higher consciousness. We are delighted to offer you jewels of wisdom from purposefully selected works of spiritual literature, soulful poetry, and cosmic thinkers. Use them as nourishing food for self-reflection and thought transformation, emotional healing, mindful meditation, profound self-awareness, powerful decisions, and miracle creation for lasting change. Be still and surrender to the present moment and the divine healing powers of the music, and allow yourself to enjoy the journey of discovery into your inner self. Together, we are the Invisible Rebels. See you on the other side. Today, I'd like to talk about a delicate subject, a subject that has been widely discussed and analyzed by great spiritual thinkers, psychologists, academics. It's about love. But in particular, the difference between what we call unconditional love versus people-pleasing. And I'd like to talk about this topic because I think that often those teachings have been misunderstood and misused by the brain. Because that brain of ours is so clever and so slimy, and it wants what it wants, and it wants its beliefs to be proven true. So it can even use something that is taught in a way that it isn't really meant for it to be interpreted that way. And I've seen this happen quite often with my students and my clients. So I'd like to make sure that it's not happening unconsciously for you as well. And so I'm going to try and discuss that fine line, that difference between loving and people-pleasing, and especially the difference between what we call unconditional love and people-pleasing. One of the things that I've noticed is that the terminology that we use for unconditional love can be very easily misinterpreted. So the way that we speak about unconditional love is that love is something that we do for ourselves. It's a beautiful choice that we can make towards someone, no matter what they do. And so, people don't have to change in order for us to love them. People don't have to behave in a certain way for us to love them. People don't have to even behave properly for us to love them. We can love them no matter what. And when we do that, we feel the experience of love in our bodies. And therefore, it's really one of the ways that we can take care of ourselves in the world. Now, a lot of people have heard that teaching and they have misinterpreted that teaching to be, we love people at our own expense. And that is exactly the opposite of what unconditional love means. So, for example, a student or a client might say, I'm going to love this person unconditionally. So that means I'm going to let them treat me however they want to treat me. I'm going to have them act however they want, and I'm just going to be lovely and wonderful to them, and I'm going to invite them over, and I'm going to spend time with them, and I'm going to continue my relationship with them because I love them unconditionally. And therefore, I don't have to have any boundaries or any limits to anything they do because I love them unconditionally. I've heard people describe to me staying in marriages that they think are unhealthy because they want to love their husband or wife unconditionally, or even staying in friendships where the person is literally abusive to them and they feel, but I want to love them unconditionally. And it's really, really important to be able to draw that fine line here and to understand that there is a really clear distinction between why you stay in a relationship long enough to be happy and what unconditional love really means. And it never, ever, ever means doing something at your own expense. When you say or think about unconditional love in a way that costs you your love of yourself, you're doing it wrong. Unconditional love has to always start with you. And unconditionally loving other people is also about you. And you will know the difference because of how you feel. If you stay in a situation that you don't want to stay in, and you say that the reason you're staying in that relationship is for unconditional love, you're mistaken. And this is really important because you've heard people teach, don't leave a relationship in order to be happy. Stay in a relationship until you recognize that you are the source of your own happiness, and then decide if you want to leave. Do not stay in a relationship simply because you want to unconditionally love someone. Unconditionally loving someone doesn't require anyone, including you, to do anything. So let me give you a really clear example of this. Think about someone who's challenging for you to love, but who you say you love unconditionally. And ask yourself this question. Do I believe loving this someone unconditionally, it requires me to lie? I'm going to give you a spoiler alert here. The answer is always no. So if you are in a relationship attempting to love somebody unconditionally and feeling as if in order to do that you have to lie to yourself or to them, you have missed the point. In fact, that is a cop-out, and it doesn't really feel good. That's how you know it isn't unconditional love. Lying is people-pleasing. People-pleasing is lying. And it is not unconditional love for yourself. It's the opposite. It's lying about who you are and not loving yourself with the condition of how you actually feel. So how do you make sure that you are unconditionally loving yourself first and then using the concept of unconditional love or staying in a relationship long enough in a way that is serving you? Here is the easiest way that I know how to separate out some BS here. Unconditional love for yourself and for others always includes the truth, and loving them no matter how they respond to the truth. So I'm going to lay it out really clearly for you. So say, for example, I say, I unconditionally love my mother, and therefore I spend every holiday with her, and she can come over whenever she wants, and that is unconditional love. And even when she comes over, when I don't want her to come over, I love her anyway, because that is unconditional love. Okay, well, that is not unconditional love. That is people-pleasing. And you know it is because it doesn't feel like love. It feels like resentment. Unconditional love means you tell your mother the truth. You say, I don't want to come over for the holiday, and I don't want you to come over unannounced ever again. And then, however she responds, you love her anyway. That is unconditional love. That is truth and unconditional love. That is not people-pleasing. Unconditional love and people-pleasing is never one thing. It's either unconditional love or people-pleasing. People-pleasing is always lying. It's always at your own expense. Unconditional love is always for the truth and for love of yourself and the other person. We hope you have enjoyed this journey into the magic secrets of your higher self, making love to the universal mind. We send you loads of love and positive vibrations and hope to see you soon in our next video. Don't forget to show your love by liking the video, subscribing to our channel, and sharing the video with like-minded rebels. We are keen to create a critical mass of open-minded fellow humans who take serious ownership of their life, yet with a light-hearted spiritual edge. Find your community and start a discussion below. What is your perception of the concepts presented today? How do you apply them in your everyday life? Tell us. And have no fear. Together, we are the Invisible Rebels.